clearly our production value could use some work. Saley said it fell because of the wind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, stimming. Self-stimulation, a lot of autistic kids do it, and they have different types of behavior. And I used to look at it as a bad thing back when I didn't know a bunch. And I've probably said this before, but Saley had super obvious stims. I didn't know they were obvious back then. Hi guys. Bye guys. Hey, happy birthday. Her stims when she was about 13, 14 months old were so severe that we thought she was having seizures. So it took me a long time to figure out what they were, but now retrospectively I'm like happy that they were so severe that it kind of helped us pinpoint what was going on. It took 6 months, but we still figured it out. So some stims that Saley has, she's a hand flapper. She would flap her hand. Do you remember doing that when you were younger?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you remember why you would do that?
No.
Do you remember just being like...
Because I'm scared. Because I'm real curious.
Real curious. Sometimes you would just zone out. Another thing, you would take a straw and you would wave a straw. You know, if you have like a magic pencil, like a straight pencil, and you do this and it looks like it's wiggling, you would do that with a straw.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember doing that?
Yeah.
Tiptoe walker is another one that she would do. And
I'm just pretending to be a horse.
say that again.
I'm just pretending to be a horse.
Pretending to be a horse.
Yes.
And I didn't think a tiptoe walker was a big deal. And then 5 years later, we had a therapist comment like, are you gonna make her stop doing that? And I'm like, no, she's fine, whatever. Long story short, her muscles have like fused together because of the extension, and now she can't stand up straight. It's pretty funny. When she stands up straight, she sticks her booty out. Pop, lock, and drop it, right? So her main severe stim that she did when she was younger, she would lay on the ground and roll to the side, and she would straighten her arms and straighten her legs and flex really hard to the point where she was shaking a little bit and just like completely zone out. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You still do that sometimes, don't you?
Yeah.
Rarely, probably just a couple of times a year, I'll catch Saley, and that's when I know that she's really stressed out or frustrated. So I used to think that a stim was something that had like a stigma surrounding it, and I would try to get her to not stim in public, and I would feel embarrassed, I would feel shame. She didn't feel a thing. She doesn't feel any of those things. Are you ever embarrassed by them?
No.
Do you want to eat some cereal?
Sure.
You can. Sorry, you're not doing a lot of talking today. However, once I realized that it was just would help her regulate her, I read in a book once that sometimes stimming, it can come in all different types of shapes and sizes. It can come in different behaviors, lining things up, lining toys up, OCD. It helps regulate someone that's feeling super irregulated on the inside. You'd play with your hair a lot. That was a stim. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot of different behaviors, but now are just kind of a part of our life. Some people, some really cool people, have like sensory rooms. They have like hyper sensory rooms, like more cooled down sensory rooms. They have them in school. What are some things now that help you calm down? Well, like say what it is, what you just did.
When I get stressed out, I do like this.
You pretend like you're making out with someone? You pretend you're kissing somebody?
I'm kissing myself.
Oh, you're kissing yourself? And that helps calm you down?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Okay, taking a deep breath. That's a big thing for Saley. Another thing was just talking her down sometimes when she would stress out. Like at school, when you feel like you're stressed out at school, what do?
I cried sometimes.
You do cry sometimes, and that's okay because we get overwhelmed, right? And sometimes we feel like something's just so hard we can't do it, right? What about like last year? What would you do? If you needed a break, what would you do?
Take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath. She's had teachers that are really good. You just ask for a break. You have the calm down chair. Remember last year, you would go sit in that. And another thing when she was younger that helped was like a lot of proprioceptive input, which is like you have like your 5 senses, and then you have your other senses that aren't super physical, like your vestibular, like your sense of balance, all of these things. Proprioceptive is like a weighted blanket, tight hugs, like that feel of pressure is help a sense of like security sometimes. And that really helped when she was a toddler. So soon when she was wigging hardcore, I would wrap her up. Hey girl! Wrap her up in a blanket and like squeeze her really tight and kind of just like a literal mama bear hug. That would help her. Are you cold?
Nope.
Can you tell me something that when you feel stressed out or overwhelmed, what are some things that you're thinking about?
Hilarious stuff like an ooh, smoochie time.
Like, not some things that make you feel better, but like when you like want to cry and you're so angry, what are some thoughts that are going through your head?
Maybe they want to bully me so bad.
Who wants to bully you so bad?
Mrs.
Someone being mean to you?
Lucy Bailey.
No, we're done talking about Lucy.
Oh.
P.S. After last Tuesday, I saw Lucy Bailey on Tuesday at a trunk or treat. I told you, right? And you know what she said, Saley? I wish Saley all the best in life, and she's a good person, and we've taken our own separate ways, and there's no need to think of me as your nemesis anymore. That's what she said.
Yeah.
So we probably don't need to bring Lucy Bailey up anymore, right? Okay, so I'm talking about like when I'm mad and I'm like pissed off and like frustrated, I'm just like, oh, I can't do this. Like it's so hard. Do you think things like that?
Yeah.
Like what are some things that make you think like that?
The thing to think they were really hard to do.
Like math is really hard for you, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then is there a part of yourself that talks you down, that makes you like, sometimes I feel like my brain is 2 different people.
Yeah.
Like I have one part of my brain that's like, oh, you are so awful, you suck, you can't do this. And then there's another part of my brain that's like, hey girl, like Turtle Princess.
Yeah.
And she just is like, you can do this, you got this. Do you feel like you have somebody like that? I feel like you're super positive.
Yes.
Is this boring to you today?
Yeah.
Can you do something to spice it up for us?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any jokes that aren't related to crossing the road?
Why is the cat and hat went to the
No, and that, any other Cat in the Hat joke? Anything else?
Where was the bat went to the toilet for?
It's gonna be the same thing as the Cat in the Hat. Thing 1 and thing 2 in the toilet?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Do you have any
Nope.
dance moves, I was gonna say?
Nope.
Yeah, you do.
Nope.
Oh, the whole reason we brought us out here, Sailor Rock. I'm all over the place today, guys. She, for like a whole year, after you got off the bus, remember? She'd be so frustrated after school and like just tired of sitting on the bus that when she came off the bus, she was a raging white hot ball of canine carnage, frustration, just screaming, crying. And she would come from the bus and run straight to Sailor Rock and sit on Sailor Rock and just lose her mind for about 30 seconds. So I would always meet her out here on her rock. We'd take some deep breaths, we'd hug, we'd talk it out, and then we'd go inside, right? And it used to embarrass me because cars would drive by, or like I could literally hear her come home, not because of the bus, because of the like running to the rock. But I just came to terms with it, that it's something that we needed before we went inside the house. We just needed a couple of minutes to ourselves. And she'll still go upstairs in her room when she needs it. My neighbor's car isn't starting. Stims. If anyone has any experience with weighted blankets, please holler at me because I want to know if they're worth the investment, and I wonder if they would help her sleep. How's your Chips Ahoy?
Good.
Cookie Crisp, what are those called? Unhealthy cereal for you? Yeah. Do you have anything to say before we go?
Nope.
Let's say something funny. Let's say something positive about People's Day.
Guacamole is for free.
Perfect.